Hi, everybody. It's Olivia Scott, the creator of Freedom at the Mat. Thank you so much for joining me today for another Free to Be conversation. Today, I am delighted that we are joined by the lovely, dynamic, bold, courageous, and powerful Davina Davidson. Now, if you don't know Davina Davidson, I'm pretty sure that you have been touched by her work. She has Melanin Moves. She has a company called Be You, Be Well, which we're going to hear all about today. She has been a master yoga teacher and trainer for over 10 years. Now she is a bona fide wellness advocate. She has an EDD. When I first met Davina a couple of years ago, I had no idea that I was talking to someone who had an EDD, which is the equivalent of a PhD. She's so humble, so beautiful, and she has so many different talents we're going to hear about today. So anybody who's watching this and you're like, oh, I can't do that, I can't shift, I can't do that, this conversation really is to support you in taking any limitations off of your thinking, to think that whatever it is that you think you can't do because you told yourself this is what you are, you can totally erase that thinking. You have changed careers a few times, and each one being a personal investment and commitment of all of your certifications and degrees, right? We see all of that. Each time you received achievements showing how successful that you were in whatever career path you chose. I mean, career path and career success really does follow you. So the question that we have is, what caused you to change when you were seemingly stable in your careers? How did you know every time that you shifted that it was time to shift or that it was okay to shift? How did you get that courage?
100% spirit. Like Holy Spirit is what I identify it as, 100% that. And funny, I didn't necessarily adhere or know that I really needed to shift. I just heard it, I felt it, but I tried to stick around, both in education and in the yoga industry. So my humanly flesh self was like, no, I can work this out, I can figure it out, I can do this, I can make this work. And so in that, I created a bit of suffering for myself by not immediately adhering to what Holy Spirit had been calling me to do. However, when it was time, I do feel like the Lord snatched me out of particular situations that have allowed me to find myself where I am today, which is way more peaceful. I have access to peace. I have access to joy, access to love. And ultimately, I get to spend time with my family. As a single parent, much of my work has been around, I have to go do this job so that I can provide and take care. And by me working, I'm not actually able to be there and see all the moments of my kids growing up and whatnot. And so I think now, finally, it's like, no, family comes first. Everything else will follow and the Lord will provide. So that's kind of how I ended up here.
So all of that is so powerful, but I'd like for you to break it down even further for anyone who is just like, but how? I don't know when it is my spirit calling. I don't know. And then how? Like, you mean it's helpful that you share you're a single parent as well, right? Because that's real talk, right? So how do you answer somebody who's just like, I want to make a shift. I feel in my spirit I need to make a shift, but I don't know how. How do I do this?
It's the same way that you do anything else. It's first awareness matters, right? So once there's a sense of awareness that there's something else maybe that you want to do, or if there is a sense of feeling unhappy in the current job that you're in, first awareness, having that awareness. And then maybe it isn't spirit for everyone, right? Maybe it's a logical choice, a logical decision that like this situation is not working, but people still tend to feel stuck. And so for me, what I have done, especially with the coaching that I do with Be You, Be Well, is take an assessment, get still, in a place of stillness and peace so that you can really assess where you are in your life. Are you doing the things that you said you want to be doing? Are you doing things that fill your cup, that bring you joy? Like, what are those things? And what's the barometer? Where are you at on that? And then it's a choice. It's a conscious choice to step out on faith or to take the risk. And the reality is that there are resources there. There are resources to shift careers. There are resources to start your own business, whether it's something that you've dreamed about your whole life, and you're like, I really want to do this, but you're nervous. There are resources out there. I particularly have resources on changing gears. Like, I literally just wrote some articles this past month for folks who've asked about that, because it is scary. It is challenging to leave the familiar and to step away from what you know, even if you don't like it, even if you don't like your current situation. That doesn't make it easier to be able to step away. And so resources are there. And then if you happen to be spiritual, I would say tap in, whether that is through reading the word, whether that is through meditating, whatever practice that allows you to hear from that which is greater than yourself. Take the time to do that so that you can, make the choice that will set you on the path that you are destined to be on.
So you mentioned be you, be well, be a boss. And that was all very beautiful. I want to hear more about be you, be well, be a boss right now. But before you go into it, right, you just mentioned that, tap into the different spiritual realms, tap into, reading the word. But what about people who inherently have low self-esteem? They doubt themselves, they doubt their capabilities, they are pretty much a detriment to themselves. They see something they want to do, but they just can't see past their own negative perceptions of themselves. What would you tell them?
I mean, this is why I created Be You, Be Well, literally. So it's like, there's nothing wrong with asking for help or utilizing the support or the tools of someone else who maybe has walked that path that you are considering, journeying on, or just saying like, I don't know how to move forward. And with the work that I do with Be You, Be Well, there are coaching opportunities, and there's free access to articles and videos, or affordable videos for people to gain support. But there's nothing wrong with asking for help. And I think, creating an environment, whether that's your friend group, your family, whatever community that you're in, but surrounding yourself with people who will help lift you up and help call you in or up when you are not operating in your fullness. Because that support is what will help people who have issues, or I don't even want to say issues, who struggle to choose themselves, which is why I love, like, be you. Forget what everybody else is doing, right? They're going to do what they do. Everything outside of you is technically a distraction. So let's go inside, get some of the answers from there.
Girl, we're not even talking about that part right now, because I say things all the time like, that's a distraction. I was like, yes, that is a distraction. I have a lot happening right in this moment, in my head, in my body. There's a lot happening. So all that happening outside is such a distraction from what I feel like I've been called to do from a spirit place. So thank you so much. Do you want to tell us anything else about Be You, Be Well that we need to know?
Not necessarily. I think what is, I like people to explore, because I never want to tell anybody what to do, right? And in the coaching role that I take, I'm going to ask questions, I'm going to provide resources, and then you get to be in choice about doing the work, about researching and reading up. So I would just say go exploring. I have the articles on my website. I have the resources on my website. So I would just say go exploring.
What is the web address for anybody who's
interested? It's IamDavinaDavidson.com.
Beautiful. Another question. Can you tell us, why did you start Be You, Be Well?
Mm-hmm. The truth. For many years in the yoga industry, leading yoga teacher trainings, people would be drawn to me for various reasons. And as they would share with me, the things that they would share with me, I'm like, you can do that too. Things that they would share about me that they thought were great or that they thought were good. And I'm like, well, you can have that too. You can be that too. You can do those things as well. And so for me, I decided to create Be You based off of the elements of what I think make up who I am as a person. And so it's a hodgepodge of things. It's not one thing that makes me who I am. It is my spiritual practice. It is my ability to be still and to hear from my spiritual guide. It is the practice of moving so that I can be still, because we forget that if you ask someone to sit down and meditate, well, if the hips are tight, they're not going to sit very long. So like being able to be in tune with my body, to be fit to love myself as I am. And I do that by spending time with myself. It's the journey of understanding the power of our words and how to speak truth gracefully, as we see fit versus, sometimes people like to put other people in boxes around the verbiage that they use to express themselves. And so for me, a huge part of why I probably trigger several people, but it allows me to sleep at night, is that I'm very honest in the words to myself. I'm very honest and speak from a place of integrity of how I feel and how I'm experiencing the world. And the truth is, it can feel or seem egotistical or like, be you, right? Like, how dare you care about yourself? How dare you pour into yourself, right? And so my thoughts is that, well, if we're all whole and we're all complete and we all know who we are and we all know our boundaries and we know how to be intimate with ourselves and others, then that's how we actually learn how to coexist together. It's that wholeness individually, right? Versus looking at someone else and thinking, I want to be like them. I want to do what they do. I want to, accumulate the wealth that they have. Well, that might not even be your heart's truest desires, but you wouldn't know if you hadn't spent the time to be alone, to be by yourself and with your thoughts, with your spirit guide, with yourself. So Be You was created to have a global impact on community and society. The more well that people are, the less tomfoolery that we experience in community.
Tomfoolery being the best word ever, right? So thank you for that. So who are you serving? Do you have a specific audience of folks that you feel like you are most suited based on your life experience to actually serve through your new company?
Yeah. So far, I've primarily really focused on like three groups of people. Because of my experience with entrepreneurship, I absolutely support several small businesses and entrepreneurs from the Be You, Be a Boss perspective. So that helps impact community. And most of them are BIPOC companies. So I feel good about that work. And then in the movement piece of things, because I do come from a movement background, the majority of the people that I work with are either athletes or women with bigger bodies, because I know what it's like to move in a bigger body and still love myself and not be upset because of the way that I look or that I can't do certain things because of the size of my belly or the size of my breasts, right? And so I have a kindred spirit with those two particular groups because I was a former athlete and I have felt what it's like to live in a bigger body. And then the last group of people that I really connect with are people who are open to exploring. They love to learn and they're open to doing the work. Because one thing I'm not going to do is tell people how to live their lives. I'm not going to do that.
Nope. No time for that. So thank you for that. And we wish you so much success with this new venture. I really, really do. And I like also, before I go to our final two questions, I like how you framed living in a bigger body, right? I like that because we feel this need to say things like plus size or body positivity and certain things. But the reality is, it's just a bigger body. It doesn't mean you're any different. It doesn't mean you're any less, but it's become synonymous with something that's pejorative and negative when you use like plus size and like whatever. But when you say it's just a bigger body, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I really do love that. And it might seem very simple that I'm kind of like exaggerating my joy on it, but I really do like that. So
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Yeah.
So you are somebody who serves fully, and I know that for a fact, fully, authentically, and warmly. And as I mentioned, when I found out you were a mom and an EDD, I was like, this woman is really amazing. There must be times, though, when you get exhausted, you get tired physically, emotionally, spiritually. So, will you just share with us a little bit about what things you turn to or that you do to rest, reset, and recharge?
Yeah. Breathe. Spend time breathing. Um, and I love being outside. So for me, and in this, I'm coming off of a 9 month sabbatical. And so for me, what has helped me reset and really just reconnect to myself and my heart's desires and what I want for myself and my family is being outside, being in nature, getting sunlight, drinking lots of water, and resting. And for me, rest looks different. So sometimes people think that rest is like sit down and don't do anything. Um, but for me, it is looks like laying on the couch and watching movies. And for people who know me, they're like, what? She's watching a TV? Because for many years, like 7+ years, I didn't watch TV. I had a TV, but I didn't watch TV at all. And so now it's like, nah, if I feel like resting and watching a movie with my daughter, then that's what I do. But getting very, very clear on only doing things that I want to do. That's what helps me reset.
Noted psychotherapist who I absolutely love, Dr. Ayana Abrams, she introduced that concept to me around integrating more active rest into my life. Because for me, it's you get up, you roll out, and then you go to sleep. But there's nothing in between there that's like active rest, like TikTok. I enjoy TikTok. I enjoy Country Rain. There's certain things I enjoy, but I don't make enough time for those things. So thank you so much for sharing that. And then lastly, let's talk about Melanin Moves. Freedom at the Mat is a part of the Melanin Moves community, and we're so excited about that. It has such a strong foundation and commitment to your member organizations, to education and overall wellness, especially for the BIPOC community. What advice do you have for people who know and understand how education and wellness are important, but they say they just don't have time for wellness? How could Melanin Moves be a potential resource for those people?
Absolutely. I think there's so much to this because being well oftentimes is indicative of our environment. And so I would say, first of all, get in community, like get in community with people who are focused on wellness, because then you will naturally create the space and the time to commit to your wellness. Outside of that, we have shorter resources like video resources for folks to meditate, to do a restorative class, something that's more chill. We have more active classes. And so there's a lot of ways to get involved, but a first step is getting connected in community. And with Melanin Moves, it's like we're trying to take over the world. We have all of the things. We have, an initiative for social justice. And so a part of that is wellness, being well in your work situation, being well in how you are treated in the communities that you exist in. And so we do that work through social justice, because that's deep wellness work. And I don't know that people really think about it in that way, but it is. We do have resources for nutrition and wellness because we understand the importance, or even just say the lack of the lack of information that is given or provided to the BIPOC community around nutrition, right? And it's not even just that we give information, but we have resources around different farmers markets and things like that. One of our staff members wrote a vegan cookbook. And so things like that, where you see BIPOC folks who are actually taking care of themselves. So it provides that initiative to be like, oh, okay, seeing someone who looks like you do the thing is always very helpful. And so we have that. We have programs for youth development. But I would say in general, get connected, because you will naturally create the space and the time to do that. And you'll realize actually, you don't have to block out an hour of your time for a yoga class or to go to the gym or whatever. Wellness happens all day long.
Well, Davina, I'm so grateful, so honored that you made space and time in your life for us. And I wish you the very best of continued success. And I honor you as you continue to be a beacon of living a very beautiful spirit led life. So thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Olivia. I love you so much.
Love you too. All right, everybody. So definitely support, check out Melanin Moves on Instagram, as well as the website. We'll put it in the description below, as well as Davina Davidson. I am davinadavidson.com. She is, as I'd mentioned, and I'm very sincere about this, in the wellness space, you have some people who are figuring it out as they go, and it doesn't come across as authentically. But Davina has been an authentic wellness leader for a really long time. And I've watched her make different pivots and shifts in her career according to her spirit, to thine own self be true. So definitely follow her, support her, and also check out her new venture, Be You, Be Well, an empowering and powerful coaching business. May God be with you. Thank you so much for your love and support. Namaste.